of the energy sector.
Concerns over the debt distress have grown over the last 3 years following the multiplicity of shocks that have hit economies across the globe. According to the International Monetary Fund, 50% of low-income countries are in debt distress, with an additional 45% being classified as being on the verge of it. This has led to a rise in the cases of economies seeking debt restructuring. And just what is debt restructuring and how does it work? Judith Cherono explained.
A number of economies in Africa are struggling with debt distress and have sought engagement with creditors to help restructure the same. So far, Ghana, Zambia, Chad and Ethiopia have sought treatment under the Common Framework, an arrangement led by the world's 20 largest economies to facilitate restructuring of debt for struggling economies. Restructuring of debt focuses fundamentally on two issues.
When debt is restructured, the concern is to reduce the burden of a debt on a country. So what do we mean by burden? Well, the burden can arise through two sources, right? One is the interest payments on that debt. The second is the amortization payments on that debt.
Economies undergoing a debt restructuring exercise will typically be looking at revision of interest payments, lengthening of the tenor of the loan borrowed, or reduction of the principal amount of the loan.
And debts can come in different forms. They can come with very high coupons, short maturities. The amortization can be gradual over a period of time, or it can be a bullet maturity, where it's all amortized at one point in time. So when we think about reducing the burden, we think about some combination of reducing the interest rate and making the amortization profile lighter.
Restructuring domestic debt presents a greater challenge than restructuring external debt, owing to the fact that it will have ramifications on local institutions and households.
If I look at domestic debt under domestic law held by domestic residents, if that's restructured, those domestic residents will bear a cost. So it can be far more costly to the economy. It can have compounding effects. So you can think of, for instance, big holders of domestic debt being banks and non-bank financial institutions like pension funds. So if you restructure their debt, you will decapitalize them.
In February this year, the Sovereign Debt Roundtable kicked off its operations looking to accelerate the pace at which economies seeking relief through debt restructuring can reach an agreement with their creditors. Judith Cherono, NTV Business.
In other news, the Kenya Plantation and Agricultural